on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is going to be a review for WWE NXT TakeOver New York. And as usual, I'm quite sure that NXT is going to outshine WWE. It seems to be pretty much the pattern now. You can expect that NXT is going to bring it and bring it hard for true wrestling fans, people who want a lot of action in the ring. And that's exactly what we got here. It was a phenomenal night, as usual. And you start out with the lead-out match. I don't think anything's going to top at WrestleMania, honestly. It's the War Raiders and Aleister Black and Ricochet. This was a highly competitive, highly athletic match. And for the War Raiders, two really big guys that really can move a lot quicker and a lot more agile than you would think. We already know how Ricochet is. The guy is just a high-flying genius. The guy could have been like Cirque du Soleil for real. Like, the guy's so athletic. And Aleister Black is one of my favorite characters of this new generation. He is a phenomenal talent, highly acrobatic, heavy striker, has a good look to him, big guy. I mean, everything about this match was above and beyond what I expected it to be. And it's hard for me to say this was the match of the night. There's two matches that could have been the match of the night for me personally. And I think I'm going to have to give it a tie with the other match that I'll talk about in a minute. Really just an amazing match all the way around, some amazing spots. Especially, it's funny because you expect it now from Ricochet. You kind of expect it now from Aleister Black. You look at the War Raiders, you don't necessarily expect it. You see them do it in matches before, but every time it's still kind of surprising. And there was some really, really good spots here. One where Ricochet was doing like a springboard off the ropes into a back elbow, misses, and then I forget which War Raider it was, but he actually does the springboard elbow off the ropes. It was really cool. But there was just a lot of really good spots there. At the end of the day, the War Raiders, they took the win. Amazing start to an amazing show. The very next match is Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle comes out first. Velveteen comes out kind of with a Statue of Liberty-esque thing going on. They bring him, since they're in New York. And so, he does this whole bit in the middle of the ring. Match continues from there, and it is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I thought it would be good, but they really had some cool spots as well. One in particular where Matt Riddle has Velveteen Dream, kind of like Matt Riddle's on the inside of the ring on the ropes. Velveteen Dream is on the outside of the ropes, and he's hung up in Matt Riddle's arms, and then it kind of does like a belly-to-back suplex into the ring. Really, really cool spot there. They had a lot of cool stuff in here that I really liked. So I was a big fan of this match, a lot bigger fan than I thought I was going to be, honestly. I like Velveteen, I like Riddle. Velveteen's shown that he can have some really damn good matches. Matt Riddle I'm not as familiar with yet, but I'm getting there, and he showed me a lot tonight. He showed me that he is damn good. At the end of the day, Matt Riddle locked in his submission on Velveteen, and Velveteen kind of turned it into a pinning combo, so he kind of sneaked his way into the win. But it worked. They kind of showed some mutual respect. And actually, the first two matches, both the tag team and, Matt Riddle versus Velveteen, there was a moment where they both showed a lot of mutual respect at the end. So that was cool. The third match was the United Kingdom Championship. Pete Dunne, as champion, takes on Walter, who I am not familiar with at all. I don't watch the UK brand. I haven't seen this guy literally at all. And the match was good, and I think because I've never seen this guy before, I wasn't necessarily as invested. But it was a good match, I will say. It followed some stiff competition with the first two. But very cool, a lot of back and forth. And again, it had some very cool spots. The big guy, Walter, going up top. He hadn't done that before. And Pete Dunne throwing in some hellacious blows. And this was hard-hitting. It was like a William Regal style match where it was just kind of showing the more brutal side, which was cool. Um, and at the end of the day, Walter beats Pete, who had been like over 600 days as champion, so that was a pretty big moment. The next match on the card is Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Shayna Baszler in a fatal four-way for the Women's Championship. And I was kind of hoping that they were going to change the title from Shayna Baszler only because I wanted to see her step into like WrestleMania, the four horsewomen thing going on. Doesn't look like they're going to do that yet. But for the match itself, it was really cool. Obviously, Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are very, very fun to watch. They are just all over the place. And all four of these girls are just not afraid to get in there and mix it up. Take some hard hits at times. I mean, it was a good match for the women's division. I think probably the funnest part was like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane were teaming up a lot, and there was a part where Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair were outside the ring, and Io Shirai does this really quick. She just hops up on the second turnbuckle outside the ring and does this backflip, and it was like so quick. It was a really cool spot for me. I really liked it. And then, of course, she took a moment to pause for the crowd. But they had a lot of cool spots like that. And then you have the technical abilities of Shayna Baszler, which really cool. She's a great brawler and has a technical side to her, so I really like her a lot. And at the end of the day, it was Shayna Baszler who wrapped up Bianca and submitted her. And I was kind of surprised because I was hearing a lot of rumors about four horsewomen at WrestleMania, and I really wanted to see that. And I think that at this point it would be safe to say they're not going to do that yet. So kind of a bittersweet thing there, but a really good match. It really was a great match. And that brings you to the last match of the night, which is Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls. And this, I think it was kind of what I would have expected. I expected Johnny to take it since Tommaso Ciampa had to cough up the gold. And it kind of went, Adam Cole took the first match. Johnny Gargano took the second too. Really good. They really, I think, kind of kept the pace a little bit slower in the first match. And then it's just kind of steamrolled. And by the third match, it was amazing to watch. Honestly, they had some just spot after spot after spot. Typical Johnny Gargano style, and they really killed it. Adam Cole is absolutely great, and these two together were magic. So, but the long story short is that Johnny Gargano finally gets the NXT Championship. His wife, Candice LeRae, comes out, and they're celebrating in the ring. He goes to his family, and they're celebrating. And then he walks up the ramp, and there's Tommaso Ciampa walking out in his neck brace. They hug, kind of breaks his heel shtick, but really, really a cool moment. Like, I really liked it. I thought it was great. So there was actually a couple of very cool moments. The first one came right at the end of War Raiders, Aleister Black and Ricochet. It seemed like Ricochet and Aleister Black were kind of saying goodbye to NXT. They were bowing, the crowd was going nuts. Ricochet's in tears. So it was definitely a moment there, and it actually kind of pulled on your heartstrings, man, when you see this guy, just pull off this match, absolute titan, and he's all choked up, and it was like really cool. And then, of course, at the end, seeing Johnny Gargano with Tommaso Ciampa, that was just another very, very cool moment. So this was a very good NXT TakeOver. It's not the best one that I've ever seen, but the bar with NXT is so freaking high these days that it's really hard for them to pull off a bad show. And, I mean, this was no different. I'd have to give it at least an 8 out of 10. So, I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because there were a couple of things that, like the Walter-Pete Dunne match, I just personally wasn't invested in. And like I said, I've never seen Walter before, and I've seen Pete Dunne in matches, and he's alright. He's not my favorite style. But, that one I wasn't necessarily invested in. But that's me. That's not even a critique. That was just personal flavor, to be very honest. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm going to stick with. 8 out of 10. Thought it was a great pay-per-view. It really was. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation out.